As a 007 fan, there are some things that are simply constants within the fandom, those being Daniel Craig can't have kids. Goldfinger has the best theme song within the franchise. Pierce Brosnan has only had one good Bond movie, and that movie was Goldeneye. And yes, while the rest aren't terrible, they certainly have their moments and are still really fun movies. Goldeneye is widely loved and praised because people think that Pierce Brosnan's first outing as James Bond is PB's best outing as James Bond, and I'm one to agree with that. But this movie is obviously loved for a different reason, and that reason is Goldeneye on the N64. One of the best movie to video game adaptations of all time. This cult classic innovative game is always, and I mean always, praised and being put as the #1 James Bond game of all time. And while I do think it's an innovative game and I do respect this game for what it is, I am gonna simply have to disagree with that. Hi, I'm Noah Fortner, and I just got my vaccination hose. Now, my opinion of 007 Goldeneye is similar to my opinion of Pulp Fiction. They both were revolutionary and culture defining, and they both did wonderful things for their genre, and they both deserve your respect. But they both have this sort of mythos surrounding it, and they acquire tons of people that'll jump on the bandwagon and agree on how great they are before actually forming their own opinion. And so goes into my opinion of Goldeneye. I respect what Goldeneye did as a genre-defining game and its revolutionary ideas, but I believe that games in the future would polish out these ideas to make for a more fun and enjoyable game. And yes, I am very aware that not all 007 games are amazing. There are other games that are just as good, if not better than Goldeneye. And in my opinion, only one of them reigns supreme over all. And that game I have talked about before is 007 Nightfire. To explain what makes this game the best Bond game, I first need to explain the plot of this weird and wacky James Bond game. Just for reference, I will be using some of my own footage as well as footage from a channel on YouTube who used a 4K emulator. I will link that channel down below. The game opens on a very theatrical James Bond mission. The first half of this mission is a rail mission that requires you to shoot guys and tires in cars chasing a French intelligence agent who is also chasing a truck with a big old bomb in it. Now, this is more of a prelude to the actual game, as it is the first mission of this game. It is more just a theatrical introduction to get you invested into this game, which I think the actual first mission does a lot better, but I'll get into that in a minute. You then go on to save this French intelligence agent and hop in your own car. Once you guys jump in your own car, you get that iconic James Bond line.
By the way, who are you?
The name's Bond. James Bond.
This mission then turns from a rail mission to a driving mission, and in your fancy souped up Q car, you chase down the final truck which has a bomb in it. And you can't blow it up because it has a bomb in it, so what do? EMP, obviously. You shoot the EMP at the truck and you save the day. Then you and Dominique go and enjoy New Year's Eve, and so begins 00 Nightfire's story, and so begins James Bond hitting on and or making out with every single female character in this game. After this, you go into the actual first mission of this game, and possibly the best level in this entire game. And while I don't like that the best level in this game is the first level of this game because it can only go downhill from here, I say this game opens up absolutely beautifully. The castle design and the music that goes with it throughout this level entirely are some of the best that this game has to offer. And in this first level, you as James Bond parachute out of a plane and land at a party at a castle in Austria, where a stolen missile guidance system from the American government is set to change hands over to the villain of this game, Drake, and his corporation, Phoenix. And your job at this party is to blend in and recover it. And immediately when you start out, realize that the controls are so shit and you need to change them. Try to figure out which controllers are the best and decide that they're all shit, but but Nightfire is the least shit. Make your way to the entrance of the castle, stunning and shooting your way there, find the secret Bond shortcut, and shimming your way across the ledge. Take out the guards and the lights, and make your way inside. Once inside, you are met with more guards, who you can choose to stealthily ignore or completely and utterly kill every single one of them. Try not to set off any of the alarms, and make your way to the front doors of the castle, where you will then change into a very lovely tuxedo. Once inside, try talking to everybody in sight, and try tasing and lasering them, and realize that you can't or else you fail the mission. After restarting, settle for taking pictures of literally everybody inside, and annoying all the party guests. Run into the tall, thick boy Rook, that we will meet later. Try to walk through a door that then you get pushed away from. Try to walk through another door that you then get pushed away from, and make your way to go listen to the host's speech. Once there, notice that Dominique is deep undercover with the enemy. Once this part of the mission is over, go snoop around the castle some more and go meet up with Dominique, who you immediately start making out with, but then immediately get cock-blocked by Agent Nightshade, aka Zoe of US Intelligence. After rendezvousing and hitting on Dominique and Nightshade, then proceed with the rest of the mission. It is now time to snoop around and kill everyone in sight to get to that meeting. After shooting up all of the guards that look exactly the same, go spy on the secret meeting between Mayhew and Drake. But before anything else can happen, Nightshade is compromised. Then Drake locks down the castle and you have to go save Nightshade and escape. But first, you need to go grab the briefcase. Decide how you want to play things, and immediately disregard any kind of stealth and just shoot at the ballroom. Do some more 007 things and go steal the briefcase and a Sentinel rocket launcher. Go find Nightshade and escape, who is being held up in a gondola. Go to escape, but before you can escape, Rook comes back in a helicopter, who is shooting and firing missiles at this tiny little gondola, and the only thing that you can do is shoot guided missiles out of this little gondola. But be careful not to hit the gondola from the inside while firing the missile, because the physics in this game are broken. Once you finally defeat Rook, finally escape with Zoe, and make more sexual innuendos towards Zoe. And so ends the best mission in this entire game. Mission 2 and 3, however, are surprisingly lackluster, but not without their fun. Mission 2 is another rail mission where you and Zoe steal a snowmobile and you are armed with turrets on top. And you have to shoot your way through the icy forest and escape. After driving through the forest for a while, bust through some random restaurant lodge and continue making your escape. And after escaping the guards, for now, you have to drive to your rendezvous point. This mission is another driving mission, requiring you to play through that one scene from Die Another Day, and race to beat the clock to meet your rendezvous point with Q. While these two missions kind of ruined the momentum that the first mission had going for it, I would say this next mission really picks up where that first mission left off, which sends you to go rendezvous with Mayhew. Yes, that Mayhew, the one who stole the missile guidance chip from the Americans, who fears for his life after Drake blamed him for the break-in and the re-stealing of said missile guidance chip. And you have to bring him into MI6 in exchange for information about Drake's master plan, Nightfire. Meet him in his Japanese home, where his bodyguard is giving him a weird massage. But before you can leave, there's been a breach on the grounds. Drake's ripoff Matrix infantry has broken into Mayhew's estate and started screaming things in Japanese, which they will all proceed to scream in Japanese throughout this level, because they clearly only recorded like 3 lines for these guys, and they consistently just say them over and over again. This is a really fun level that has you escorting Mayhew to his bunker that allows you to try an abundance of guns. After safely getting Mayhew to his bunker, he sends you back out to go grab the Nightfire information, where you have to feed some ball to a dragon to unlock a safe. This mission also requires you to save his caretakers. Stealthily shoot your way through this mission, take the secret entrance to save the first hostage, and immediately start making out with her after you've saved her, which you don't do for the rest of the hostages, which seems odd. It doesn't seem very James Bond to me. After feeding a ball to a dragon and saving the rest of the hostages, return to Mayhew to make your final escape, who, once outside, immediately gets taken out by a chump by a goddamn ninja. Proceed to have a nice little fight with said ninja, who is an entire shotgun full of shells, in a really hard mini-boss fight. Find out that none of the Nightfire evidence is actually here and is actually at his office in Tokyo, which leads you into your next mission, which is personally one of my favorite missions. I really enjoyed this next mission. The night shift mission requires you to use stealth to make your way up to Mayhew's Mayhew's computer and tranquilize, punch, and tase all of the guards in sight, which you can't kill, which is kind of annoying, but it also forces you into playing this mission a different way than all the other ones, where you can't just run and gun. Disarm tripwires and avoid cameras, and travel through some vents to get the information you need. Once you grab all the information, travel to the top floor and attempt to access Mayhew's computer. Almost clipped up to the goddamn building by Drake's helicopter. Make a quick exit when you realize this entire thing is a trap. Run into Dominique again and start making out. Shoot your way off the rooftop and parachute down onto a car, which is personally one of my favorite parts of this entire game, because it's such a ludicrous and dumb exchange.
Sorry to drop in like this, but would you ladies mind giving me a ride?
Your next mission sends you to a nuclear test site where, if information is to be believed, Phoenix and Drake are hiding some secret information regarding plans for Nightfire. This is a sniper level that requires you to take out tons of snipers across rooftops and uncover secret information about the Nightfire plans. This is a very decent and fun mission to play through, after having to do so much stealth, being able to shoot your way out of the problem. Although one of my lesser favorite missions in this game, it is still a bit of a joy to play through. After brutally headshotting all the scientists in sight, enter the final stage of this mission, where you run into a prototype laser that you then get to use to blow pretty much everything up in sight, and after you destroy everything, make your escape. But while you're making your escape, run back into Kiko, Mayhew's bodyguard, who is clearly not too happy that Mayhew was gonna betray Phoenix, and tranquilizes you and sends you over to your next mission back on Phoenix Tower to meet back up with Drake. You have been compromised by Drake as well as Dominique, who Drake proceeds to then have killed. After a hope spot where it looks like both of you might survive, Kiko fucking super kicks Dominique off the goddamn building. James Bond then escapes, grabs a gun, and begins this next mission, which I very much enjoy. Because it sends you back through Phoenix Tower, which you've already been in 2 missions ago, you now have an idea of where you have to go, and you're able to just shoot your way through this building. Try to avoid all of the minigun mounted briefcases while you make your way down back through Phoenix Tower. After shooting your way down and towards the elevators, jump into a really fun part of the level where you have to take an elevator down, but standing on the roof of the elevator that has you shooting and protecting yourself on the way down, where you get to shoot down repelling guards and throw grenades into other floors. Disarm the sentinel charges that they keep throwing down at you, and proceed on the main floor of Phoenix Tower, making your final escape. An escape with Allura, who's on loan from the Australian government to MI6 in a fancy sports car. And the first time in this game is not immediately hit on by 007. What a nice change of pace. And from the hives of the past few levels, you are then sent into the next few missions of this game, which is probably the lowest point this game hits. While the first level of this bunch is not the absolute worst, these levels send you to the final part of this game where James Bond and Allura have to sneak on Jake's private island in the South Pacific, which requires you to sneak in a submarine car, make your way through the caves below the island, and a frankly pretty boring level, but overall isn't the absolute worst because at least it does have some enjoyable music, as most water levels do. This isn't the worst water level I've ever played. However, the next 2 levels in this bunch of boring driving missions are the definite most boring levels in this game. They mainly just more or less feel uneventful. Even though it does have you shooting rockets from outside of a plane and taking control of a laser turret, these rail and driving missions are probably the worst at this game. While still entertaining, they just don't reach the highs of the actual first-person shooter levels that this game has to offer. And after these levels are over, the pace immediately picks right back up. This level requires you to make your way through that island base from Incredibles and shake out all the guards, and is the second to last level in this game. Fight Rook, who eats about 6 grenades, and proceed to the final stages of this mission. Proceed to a rocket launch silo, but before you can reach it, you are then stopped by Kiko, as you are then sent to the bottom of this missile silo that requires you to bunker down and come out and shoot guards in between rocket launches. Once that's completed, rappel up the elevator to stop Kiko from boarding her rocket and watch that backstabbing bitch burn in hell as you board your own rocket and take off into space. And to your final mission in this game. That requires you to fight off Spaceman with your space laser and stop Drake from shooting nuclear missiles onto the world. Defeat all the Spaceman and stop all the missiles, and have a face-to-face with Drake that is surprisingly easy to win. And your journey is over. But before the credit can roll, James Bond has to make out with one more lady, and so your fun in 007 Nightfire is officially over as the game draws to a close. But the fun's not over yet, as 007 Nightfire has one of the most fun multiplayer sides to a game that I've ever played, that has a slew of different options and bots and weapons and game modes for you and your friends to play through, as well as some wonderfully designed maps to play in and some amazing characters from throughout the Bond timeline, with the best one obviously being Oddjob, because you can take off his hat and you can throw it at people and instant kill them. This originally is what actually got me hooked on the game and has kept me coming back to this game throughout the years. What this game accomplished for me that other Bond games didn't was its absolutely ludicrous fucking plot and its insistence on being so very James Bond. This really does feel like all of the good and goofy moments coming from all different Bond movies into one, and it seemingly has smoothed out some of the good things to come before it into making a really fun game. Sure, it has its flaws, but it is truly my favorite Bond game. But what this game also does is put me in situations and places fused with an amazing soundtrack that makes me really feel like James Buchanan Bond. It gave me so many choices and options and characters and so much to do with my friends as a kid that this is really what made me fall in love with the game. And at least once a year I'll still go back and play through 007 completely. I literally just came off of playing 007 Nightfire and finishing it. And it still reigns as one of my top 10 favorite PS2 games and one of my favorite games that I've ever played. And to me, the best Bond game ever made. Hi, did you think my opinion was wrong? Leave a comment down below. Do you want to see more of my shitty content? Be sure to watch the last video here. Do you want to see what's coming in the future? Be sure to subscribe right over here. Don't hit on women as much as James Bond does. And have a nice day and stay safe out there. Also, get your fucking vaccine.